The cargo ship drifted slowly through the dark space between stars. Its name was the Morning Star, and it was old. The metal walls had patches on them from many repairs. The engine made sounds that worried the captain sometimes. But the ship still flew, and that was enough. One worked in the engine room. He was 28 years old with short black hair and tired eyes. His hands were always covered in oil and grease. He had been a mechanic on this ship for 5 years now. It was not exciting work, but it paid well. He sent most of his money home to Earth, to his younger sister Hannah. Today had been a bad day. Pirates had attacked the ship near the border. The Morning Star was not a fighting ship. It carried food and medicine to small colonies. When the pirates came, the captain had no choice but to run. They escaped, but not without damage. Now one walked through the cargo hold, checking for problems. The attack had shaken everything loose. Boxes had fallen. Some containers had cracked open. Food packages were scattered across the floor like leaves after a storm. He sighed and started cleaning up. This would take hours. The other crew members were busy repairing the hull. One was alone down here with only the hum of the ship for company. He moved a large metal container and stopped. There was something behind it, something that should not be there. It was a child. One stepped back in surprise. The child was small, maybe 7 or 8 years old in human terms, but this was not a human child. The skin was pale blue, like the color of a winter sky. The hair was silver white and very long. The ears were pointed at the tips, and the eyes, when they opened, were gold like coins. A child here on his ship. One had never seen a in person before. Most humans had not. The Empire was one of the most powerful forces in the galaxy. They ruled over 200 planets. Their technology was far beyond what humans had. Their ships were faster. Their weapons were stronger. And they looked down on humans the way humans might look down on insects. The child stared at one with those golden eyes. There was fear in them, real, deep fear. The child pressed back against the wall, trying to become smaller, trying to disappear. One noticed the blood then. There was a wound on the child's arm. The blue skin was torn and purple blood was leaking out slowly. The child was hurt. "Hey," one said softly. He held up his hands to show he meant no harm. "Hey, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The child did not understand. Of course not. Why would a child know the human language? But the tone seemed to help a little. The child stopped trying to push through the wall. One moved slowly. He took off his jacket and held it out. The child looked at it with confusion. One pointed at the wound, then at the jacket, trying to show what he meant. After a long moment, the child let him come closer. The wound was not too deep, but it needed to be cleaned and wrapped. One used his jacket as a bandage for now. He would get proper medical supplies later. The child watched his every move with those big golden eyes. "How did you get here?" one asked, even though he knew the child could not answer. "Were you on one of the pirate ships? Did you escape?" That seemed to be the answer. The pirates must have kidnapped this child. When they attacked the Morning Star, the child must have run and hidden here. It was the only explanation. One sat back and looked at the child. This was a big problem, a very big problem. If this child was from the Empire, then the Empire would be looking for them. And the Empire did not like humans. If they thought humans had kidnapped one of their children, they might destroy the Morning Star without asking questions. He should tell the captain right away. That was the smart thing to do. The captain would contact the authorities and return the child. Everyone would be safe. But one did not move. He kept looking at the child's face. The fear there was so strong. This child had been through something terrible. The pirates, the attack, the running and hiding. And now this small person was alone on a strange ship with a strange creature from a species that considered primitive. One thought about his sister. Hannah was 19 now, but he still remembered when she was small. When their parents died, one had become everything to her. Brother, father, protector. He remembered how she would cry at night and how he would hold her until she fell asleep. This child needed someone to hold them too. "Come on," one said. He stood up and offered his hand. "Let's get you somewhere safe." The child looked at his hand for a long time. Then slowly, a small blue hand reached out and took his. One led the child through the back passages of the ship. He knew every corner of the Morning Star. He knew where the cameras were. He knew which doors made noise and which ones were quiet. He moved like a shadow, and the child followed. His room was small, just a bed, a desk, and a tiny bathroom, but it was private. No one came here without permission. He brought the child inside and closed the door. "Sit here," he said, pointing at the bed. The child sat. One went to his small cabinet and found his first aid kit. He came back and knelt in front of the child. The wound needed proper cleaning. One worked carefully. The child made small sounds of pain but did not pull away. Those golden eyes watched everything he did. There was less fear now. Instead, there was something like wonder. When the wound was clean and wrapped in real bandages, one sat back. The child looked at the white bandage with surprise. Perhaps medicine was different. Perhaps this child had never seen something so simple. One went to his desk and found some food bars. They were not delicious, but they were safe to eat. He offered one to the child. The child sniffed it carefully, then took a small bite, then another. Soon the whole bar was gone. "Hungry?" one said with a small smile. "You were very hungry." The child looked at him. Then for the first time the child spoke. The voice was soft and musical like bells in the wind. The words were in language which one did not understand, but the tone was clear. The child was saying thank you. "You're welcome," one said. He pointed at himself. "One, my name is One." The child tilted their head. "One," the child repeated. The accent was strange, but the word was clear. One pointed at the child with a questioning look. The child said. One repeated, "That's a nice name." Smiled then. It was a small smile, barely there, but it changed everything. The fear was still present, hiding in the background, but there was hope now too. Hope that maybe this strange human would not hurt him. One made a decision in that moment. He would not tell the captain, not yet. He would take care of this child himself. He would make sure was safe and healthy and not afraid anymore. Then when they reached Earth, he would figure out what to do. It was a foolish decision, dangerous, maybe even crazy. The Empire could destroy his ship. They could destroy him. They could start a war over this one small child. But one looked at its face and saw a scared little boy who needed help, and he could not turn away from that. The next few days were difficult. One had to hide during the day while he worked. He would leave food and water and books with pictures. Could not read human words, but the pictures seemed to make him happy. When one came back at night, would show him the pictures and make sounds, trying to tell stories about them. They began to learn each other's language. Small words at first: water, food, sleep, safe. One learned that was indeed from the Empire, though the child would not say more than that. He learned that pirates had attacked ship and taken him. He learned that had been very scared for a long time before finding the Morning Star. Learned that humans were not what he had been told. His people said humans were violent and stupid. They said humans were barely better than animals, but one was kind. One shared his food. One sang soft songs at night to help sleep. One was gentle when he changed the bandages. One night looked at one with serious eyes. "Why?" asked. This was a word they both knew now. Why help? One thought about it. He could give many answers, because it was right, because was just a child, because no one should be afraid and alone. But the truest answer was simpler than that. "Because you needed help," one said, "and I was there." Did not fully understand all the words, but he understood the meaning. He moved closer to one and leaned against his side. One put an arm around him. They sat like that for a long time, watching the stars through the small window. The Morning Star was 2 weeks from Earth. 2 weeks of hiding and hopping, 2 weeks of teaching that not all humans were bad, 2 weeks of becoming something like a family. One did not know what would happen when they reached Earth. He did not know how his sister would react. He did not know if he could keep safe from the people who might want to use a child for their own purposes. He did not know if the Empire would come looking. But he knew one thing for certain. He had made a promise when he took his hand in that cargo hold. He would protect this child, no matter what came next. The ship flew on through the darkness, carrying its secret cargo toward home. Earth looked beautiful from space, blue and green and white, like a living jewel against the black. One stood at the window of his room with beside him. The child's golden eyes were wide with wonder. Earth, one said, pointing, "My home." Home, repeated. He had learned many words in the past 2 weeks. His human language was still broken, but they could understand each other now. One home, no home. The sadness in those words hurt one's heart. He put his hand on shoulder. Earth is your home now too, for as long as you need. The morning star landed at a port near Seoul. One had to be very careful. He could not let anyone see. A child on Earth would cause too many questions. People would want to take away. Scientists would want to study him. Politicians would want to use him. One could not let any of that happen. He wrapped in a large coat with a hood. The blue skin was hidden. The silver hair was tucked away. Only those golden eyes could be seen, and one told to keep them down. "Stay close to me," one said. "Do not speak, do not look at anyone." Nodded, he was scared again. One could see it in the way the child held onto his hand, but trusted him. That trust was precious and one would not break it. They made it off the ship without trouble. The port was busy and loud and full of people moving in all directions. No one looked twice at the tall man with the small hooded figure beside him. They were just 2 more faces in the crowd. One called a transport car. They rode through the city toward the apartment where his sister lived. It was not a rich area. The buildings were old and close together. The streets were narrow, but it was home. Hana was waiting at the door when they arrived. She was a young woman with long black hair and a kind face. She looked like their mother, people always said. One looked more like their father. "Brother," she said with a big smile. She ran to hug him. "I missed you so much. Your messages are never long enough. I want to hear everything about." She stopped. She had noticed standing behind one, still wrapped in the coat. "Who is this?" Hana asked. One took a deep breath. "Let's go inside. I have much to explain." The apartment was small but clean. Hana kept it nice, with plants in the windows and pictures on the walls. She worked as a teacher for young children. She did not make much money, but she was happy. One closed the door and locked it. Then he turned to, "It's okay now. You can take off the coat." Looked uncertain, but he did as one said. The coat fell away and Hana saw him clearly for the first time. The blue skin, the silver hair, the pointed ears, the golden eyes looking at her with fear. Hana's hand went to her mouth. Is that a—" "His name is," one said quickly. "He's just a child. He was kidnapped by pirates and I found him hiding on my ship. He has nowhere else to go." Hana stared back. Neither of them moved. Then Hana did something that surprised everyone. She smiled. It was a warm smile, the kind she gave to the children she taught. "Hello," she said softly. "Are you hungry? I just made soup. Do you like soup?" Looked at one with confusion. One translated as best he could. His face brightened a little. He nodded. Hana took them to the kitchen. She gave a bowl of soup and watched as he ate. The child ate carefully at first, testing this new food. Then he ate faster. The soup was good. "He's so thin," Hana said quietly to one. "How long was he with the pirates?" "I don't know. He doesn't like to talk about it." Hana's eyes were sad. She reached out and gently touched his hair. The child flinched at first, then relaxed. He looked at Hana with those big golden eyes. "Poor thing," Hana said. "Don't worry, you're safe now." Did not understand all the words, but he understood the feeling. He looked down at his soup and kept eating, but there was less tension in his shoulders. That night they made a bed for in the small extra room. It was mostly used for storage, but Hana cleared a space and put down soft blankets, looked at the bed with uncertainty. Sleep, one said, you need rest. One stay, asked, his voice was small, please. One sat beside the bed. I'll stay until you fall asleep. Lay down and closed his eyes. One stayed there in the darkness, listening to the child's breathing slow. Soon was asleep, his face peaceful for the first time since one had found him. Hana was waiting in the living room. She had made tea for both of them. Tell me everything, she said. One told her, the pirate attack, finding in the cargo hold, the decision to hide him, the 2 weeks of learning to communicate, everything. When he finished, Hana was quiet for a long time. This is dangerous, she finally said. If the government finds out, you could go to prison, we both could. I know. And you still brought him here. One looked at his hands. What else could I do? He's just a child, Hana. He was scared and alone and hurt. I couldn't leave him. Hana reached out and took his hand. I'm not saying you were wrong, I'm just saying, this will be hard for all of us. Will you help me? Hana smiled. It was the same smile she had given earlier. Of course I will, he's family now. The days that followed were a mix of joy and worry. Could not go outside. His blue skin would attract too much attention, so he stayed in the apartment learning about human things. Hana was a good teacher. She showed pictures and taught him words. She played simple games with him. She sang songs while she cooked and would listen with wonder on his face. But was also afraid. Every loud noise made him jump. Every knock at the door made him run and hide. At night, he sometimes woke up screaming from bad dreams. The pirates had hurt him in ways he could not explain. The scars were not just on his skin. One evening, one found sitting by the window looking out at the city. The sun was setting, and the sky was orange and pink. Pretty, said. Yes, one agreed. Do you have sunsets on your world? Thought about it. Yes, but different, more purple, more cold. He paused, Miss Home, but also not Miss. One sat beside him. What do you mean? Home is big, cold, rules for everything, always do wrong thing, always make trouble. The child's voice was sad. Father very angry, always angry, say not good enough, not strong enough, not enough. One felt a flash of anger at this unknown father. What kind of parent would make a child feel not good enough? You are good enough, one said firmly. You are brave and smart and kind. Your father was wrong. Looked at him with surprise. Really? Really? Something changed in his face then. Some of the old pain started to fade. Not all of it, not yet, but some. He leaned against one side. One is good, said quietly. Humans are good, not like stories say. What do your people say about humans? Made a face. They say humans are weak, stupid, violent, like animals not worth knowing. He looked up at one. But that is not true. One is not weak. Hana is not stupid. You are kind. You share food. You give warm bed. You stay when is scared. Some humans are bad, one admitted. Just like some are probably bad. But most people, most beings just want to live and be happy and take care of the ones they love. Nodded slowly. Thinks, maybe humans are best species, because you help even when you don't have to, even when it is dangerous. Hana came in then with cups of hot chocolate. She had learned that loved sweet things. The child's face lit up when he saw the drink. For me, asked. For you, Hana said with a smile. Took the cup and held it carefully. He sipped it slowly, enjoying every taste. When he finished, he had a line of chocolate on his upper lip. Hana laughed and wiped it away with her thumb. You're a messy eater, she said. Did not know the word messy, but he understood the teasing tone. He smiled, showing small pointed teeth. Weeks passed, grew stronger. He ate well and slept better. His language improved every day. He learned to play human games and watch human shows. He helped Hana cook sometimes, though he was not very good at it. He read books with one every night before bed. He started to laugh. Real laughs, not small nervous sounds. He started to joke and tease and play. The scared child from the cargo hold was becoming someone new, someone happy. But the danger was always there, hiding in the shadows. One day, a news report came on the television. One almost dropped his cup when he heard it. "Warships have entered human space," the reporter said. "They claim to be searching for something that was stolen from them. The Empire has not given details, but they have warned all human ships and colonies to cooperate fully." One and Hana looked at each other. They both knew what they were searching for. Or rather, who had not heard the news. He was in the other room, practicing his writing. Human letters were hard for him, but he was getting better. "What do we do?" Hana whispered. One shook his head. He did not know. The Empire was too big, too powerful. If they wanted to find, they would find him. It was only a matter of time. But one had made a promise. He would protect this child, no matter what. "We stay quiet," he said. "We stay hidden. We don't do anything to attract attention. And if they come here, then we deal with it together." Hana nodded. She was scared, but she was also strong. She came from the same parents as one. She had the same heart. That night one read to as usual. The book was about a brave little dog who went on adventures. Loved that dog. He always cheered when the dog won. When the story was done, looked at one with serious eyes. "One," he said, "you will not give away, even if bad things come." One felt his heart hurt. This child, who had been hurt so much, was still afraid of being abandoned. "I will never give you away," one said. "You are family now, and family stays together." Smiled. It was the biggest smile one had ever seen on his face. The child threw his arms around one and hugged him tight. "Family," whispered, "has family." One held him close. Outside, somewhere in the stars, warships were hunting. But here, in this small apartment on Earth, there was love, and love was worth fighting for. The news grew worse every day. More ships entered human space. They stopped human vessels and searched them. They landed on colonies and questioned everyone. They were looking, always looking. One watched the reports with growing fear. They were not asking nicely anymore. They were demanding. One colony refused to let them search, and they destroyed their communication tower. No one was hurt, but the message was clear: cooperate or suffer. What had been to them, he wondered, to make them search so hard? The child himself seemed unaware of the danger. Spent his days learning and playing. He had become very good at human games. He beat Hana at cards 3 times in a row, which made her pretend to be angry, laughed at her funny face. But sometimes, when did not know anyone was watching, he would stare out the window at the sky. His golden eyes would be sad and far away. He was thinking of home, maybe. Or maybe he was thinking of the people who were looking for him. One morning, one decided he needed answers. He said during breakfast, "We need to talk about something." Looked up from his food. He was eating rice and eggs, which had become his favorite breakfast. Talk about what? About why they are searching for you. The child's face went pale. His blue skin became almost white. He put down his spoon and did not speak. "I'm not angry," one said gently. "I just need to understand. They are searching very hard. They are threatening humans. They are scaring people. Why do they want you so badly?" Was quiet for a long time. His hands shook a little. When he finally spoke, his voice was very small. He did not tell truth, not all truth. "What do you mean?" "Is not just child, is," he struggled to find the right words. "Smother is queen, is prince." The room became very quiet. One stared at. Hana, who had been washing dishes, dropped a cup. It shattered on the floor, but no one moved to clean it. "You're a prince," one finally said. the prince of the empire, nodded miserably. Isari was afraid you would not help if you knew, afraid you would give back. Why would being a prince make me not help you? Tears began to fall from his golden eyes. They were purple tears, not clear like human tears. They rolled down his blue cheeks like tiny gems. Because Father, Emperor Father, is very powerful, very scary, people do what he says because they are afraid, thought. If you knew whose father is, you would be afraid too. You would send away to be safe. One moved to sit beside. He took the child's hands in his own. Listen to me, he said firmly. I don't care if your father is the emperor. I don't care if he has 1,000 ships and 1,000,000 soldiers. You are a child who needed help. That is all that matters to me. But the danger. I knew there would be danger when I hid you on my ship. I knew there would be danger when I brought you to Earth. None of that has changed. One squeezed hands. You are family now. They can send all the ships they want. I will not give you up. Threw himself into one's arms and sobbed. All the fear and guilt he had been carrying came pouring out. He cried for a long time while one held him and Hana watched with tears in her own eyes. When the crying stopped, told them everything. His father, the emperor, was a cold and hard man. He cared only about power and strength. He saw weakness as a disease that needed to be removed, and by standards was weak. Did not like fighting. He did not like hurting things. He preferred reading and music and growing plants. He asked too many questions. He showed too much feeling. He made the emperor ashamed. Father said brings shame to the throne, whispered. Said needs to become strong or be removed. Removed, Hana's voice was sharp with anger. What does that mean? Does not know, but it's scared. So when the pirates attacked our ship, ran, hid, did not want to go back. One felt cold fury in his chest. What kind of father would threaten his own child? What kind of man would make a little boy so afraid that he would rather take his chances with pirates than go home? Your mother, one said. The queen, is she like your father? His face softened a little. Mother is different. Mother is kind, but mother is not as powerful as father. Mother cannot stop him. Mother tries, but it's not enough, one finished. Nodded sadly. The days that followed were tense. They knew now why they were searching so hard. A missing prince was not just an embarrassment. It was a threat to the empire's power. If people learned that the emperor could not even protect his own son, they might start to question him. One started making plans. They might need to run. He looked at maps of distant colonies where ships might not reach. He counted their money. He thought about who he could trust. But in the end, they did not run fast enough. It was a normal evening. Hana was cooking dinner, was helping her cut vegetables, which he had finally learned to do safely. One was watching the news, keeping track of where the ships were. Then there was a knock at the door. Everyone froze. His knife clattered to the floor. His eyes went wide with terror. Hide, one whispered, now. Ran to the storage room where he still slept. He knew the hiding spot they had prepared, behind the boxes in the corner. He went there without a sound. Another knock, louder this time. One walked to the door. His heart was beating so hard he thought it might burst. He opened the door just a crack. 3 figures stood in the hallway. They were tall, with pale blue skin and silver hair. They wore armor that shone like mirrors. Their eyes were cold and golden. Soldiers. The one in front spoke. His voice was like ice. You are one, from the cargo ship Morning Star. One's throat was dry. Yes. We have tracked the prince's trail to this location. You will give him to us now. I don't know what you're talking about. The soldier pushed the door open with one hand. One was pushed back. The 3 soldiers entered the apartment like they owned it. Do not lie to us, human, the leader said. Our scanners detected biology in this building. We know he is here. Hana stood in the kitchen doorway. Her face was pale, but her eyes were angry. You can't just come into our home like this. We can do whatever we wish, the soldier said. You are humans, you have no rights in this matter. Now where is the prince? One stepped between the soldiers and the hallway that led to his hiding spot. There is no prince here. You're making a mistake. The soldier looked at him with something like amusement. You would protect a child. You, a human. How strange. Do you not know what our people think of yours? I know what you think, I don't care. You should care. Your life means nothing to us. Your planet means nothing. If you do not give us the prince, we will take this building apart piece by piece until we find him. One did not move. Then you'll have to do that, because I'm not giving up a scared child to people who terrify him. The soldier's eyes narrowed. Scared? The prince is scared of us. He's scared of everything the empire represents. The coldness, the cruelty, the way you treat kindness like a disease. One's voice grew stronger. He's a child. He likes reading books and eating sweet things and growing plants. And his own father made him so afraid that he would rather hide with strangers than go home. What does that tell you about your precious empire? The soldier raised his hand, and it was a weapon that hummed with blue light. Enough. You will be silent or you will be dead. One. The voice came from behind them. Everyone turned. Stood at the edge of the living room. He had come out of hiding. His small body was shaking, but his chin was high. No, one shouted, run. But did not run. He walked forward past one until he stood before the soldiers. He looked up at the leader with those golden eyes. We'll go with you, he said, but only if you promise not to hurt them. Not one, not Hana, promise. The soldier looked down at the small prince with an unreadable expression. You would bargain for these humans. They are family. Family, they are not even your species. Straightened his back. He was so small, but in that moment he looked almost brave. Family is not about species. Family is about love. One taught that, and will not let you hurt them. The soldier was silent for a long moment. Something strange passed across his face. Not quite respect, but close to it. Very well, he finally said. The humans will not be harmed. You will come with us now. Nodded, he turned back to one and Hana. His golden eyes were full of tears, but he was not crying. Thank you, said, for everything we'll never forget. No, one said. He stepped forward, but another soldier blocked his path. No, you can't take him. He's just a boy, please. One's voice was soft but firm. This is the only way. If does not go, they will hurt you. Cannot let that happen. I don't care about me. I care about you. Smiled. It was a sad smile, but also a grateful one. That is why loves you, but now must be brave like the dog in the story. The dog always comes home, yes, will come home too, someday. The soldiers took his arms and led him toward the door. One tried to follow, but the soldier's weapon pointed at his chest stopped him. Stay here, the leader said. Be grateful for your life. The door closed behind them. One sank to his knees. Hana ran to him and they held each other, both crying. Outside, they heard the sound of a ship rising into the sky, carrying away. We have to do something, Hana said through her tears. We can't just let them take him. One looked at the window where used to watch the sunset. His heart was broken, but inside that broken heart something was burning, something fierce. We will get him back, he said. I don't know how yet, but I made a promise. Family stays together. Hana nodded. They would find a way. They had to. Somewhere in the sky, a small blue prince was flying toward a fate he feared. But he carried something with him that he had not had before. Hope. Because for the first time in his life, knew what love felt like. And that was something even the emperor could not take away. One did not sleep that night. He sat by the window and watched the stars. Somewhere up there was on a ship, flying toward a home he feared. The thought made one sick. Hana brought him tea, but he did not drink it. She sat beside him and said nothing. There was nothing to say. When morning came, one stood up. His eyes were red from not sleeping, but there was fire in them. "I'm going to get him back," he said. "How?" Hana asked. "They have him, they have ships and weapons and soldiers, we have nothing. I have myself, I have my voice, and I have the truth." Hana stared at him. "What are you going to do?" "I'm going to go to the ship. I'm going to demand to see, and I'm not leaving until I know he's safe." "They'll kill you." "Maybe, but I can't live with myself if I don't try." Hana was quiet for a long moment. Then she stood up and went to get her coat. "What are you doing?" one asked. "Coming with you. If you're going to be stupid, at least you won't be stupid alone." They had set up a temporary base near Seoul. Their ships hung in the sky like silver clouds, blocking out the sun. Human authorities had given them this space. No one wanted to fight the Empire over one child, even if that child was just a scared little boy. One and Hana walked up to the barricade that kept humans away from the alien ships. Soldiers in mirrors' armor stood guard. They looked down at the two humans with cold, golden eyes. "We want to see Prince," one said. The soldiers did not react. They might have been statues. "Did you hear me? I want to see the Prince. He was taken from my home last night. I need to know he's okay." One soldier finally spoke. "Humans are not permitted in this area. Leave now." "No." The soldier's head tilted slightly. "No. I'm not leaving until I see. He's scared and alone, and he needs to know that someone cares about him. So either let me through or kill me. Those are your only options." The soldiers looked at each other. This was clearly not normal behavior for humans. Most people ran from. They did not demand things. "Wait here," one soldier said. He turned and walked toward the nearest ship. One and Hana waited. Minutes passed. The sun climbed higher. Other humans gathered to watch from a distance. What were these two crazy people doing? Finally, a figure emerged from the ship. This one was different from the soldiers. She was female, older, with silver hair pulled back tight. Her armor was decorated with golden symbols. She walked with the confidence of someone who had never been told no. "I am Commander," she said. Her voice was sharp like broken glass. "You are the human who kept the prince." "My name is One. And yes, I kept him. I kept him safe and warm and fed. I treated his wounds and sang him to sleep when he had bad dreams. I gave him a home when he had none." The commander's eyes narrowed. "You speak boldly for a primitive species." "I speak truthfully. That's more than I can say for your empire." "What do you mean?" "I mean that your prince was so afraid of going home that he hid with pirates. He was so scared of his own father that he chose to stay with humans he had been told were savages. What does that say about your emperor? What does that say about your great civilization?" The commander stepped closer. Her face was very near One's now. "You dare to criticize the emperor?" "I dare to speak the truth. Your empire is built on fear. You make your own children afraid. That is not strength. That is weakness wearing a mask." For a moment, One thought the commander would kill him right there. Her hand went to her weapon. Her eyes burned with anger. But she did not draw the weapon. Instead, she stepped back. "Why do you care so much about this child?" she asked. "He is not your species. He is not your blood. Why risk your life for him?" "Because he needed someone to care, and I was there." "That is not logical." "No, it isn't. It's human. We don't always do things because they make sense. We do things because they feel right. Helping a scared child feels right. Loving someone who needs love feels right, even if that someone has blue skin and golden eyes." The commander was silent. Around them, the gathered humans watched. The soldiers watched. Everyone waited to see what would happen. "The prince has asked about you," the commander finally said. "He has refused to eat. He has refused to speak. He asks only one question over and over. He asks if the humans are safe. He asks if One is safe." One's heart broke a little more. "Then let me see him, please. Let me tell him myself that we're okay." "The emperor has given orders. The prince is to be brought home immediately. No delays. To hell with the emperor, one's voice rang out clearly. That man terrorized his own son. He made a little boy so afraid that he would rather die than go back. No child should feel that way about their parent. No child should have to run from their own family. Hana stepped forward. I'm a teacher. I work with children every day. I know what a scared child looks like. I know what a hurt child looks like, is both. He was starving for love and we gave it to him. If you take him back to someone who treats him like garbage, you might as well kill him. His body might live, but his spirit will die. The commander looked at Hana. Something flickered in those golden eyes, something that might have been understanding. You truly believe this, the commander said. It was not a question. With all my heart, Hana replied. The commander turned and looked up at her ship. She was quiet for a long time. The wind blew her silver hair. When she spoke again, her voice was different, softer. I have served the Empire for 90 years, she said. I have followed every order. I have never questioned, but lately I have wondered. We call ourselves the greatest civilization in the galaxy, but are we? We have power, we have technology, we have conquered many worlds, but do we have this? She looked at one in Hana. Do we have what you have, this? Willingness to die for someone we love, this fire that burns even when there is no hope. I don't know what to have, one said, but I know what humans have, and I know that found it with us. He found love, he found family, he found a reason to smile. Can you say the same about your empire? The commander closed her eyes. She seemed to be fighting a battle inside herself. When she opened her eyes again, she had made a decision. Come with me, she said. I will take you to the prince. One in Hana followed her onto the ship. The inside was all silver and blue light. It was cold and beautiful, like a palace made of ice. Soldiers watched them pass but did not stop them. They walked through long hallways until they reached a door. The commander pressed her hand to a panel, and the door opened. Was inside. He sat on a small bed in the corner of a bare room. His silver hair was messy. His golden eyes were red from crying. When he saw who was at the door, he jumped up. One Hana. He ran to them and threw himself into their arms. They held him tight, all three of them crying and laughing at the same time. You came, sobbed. You really came. Of course we came, one said. I told you, family stays together. But how? They would not let go. They said must go back to father, does not want to go back. Please, please don't make go back. Hana stroked his hair. We're going to figure this out. We're not going to let anyone hurt you. The commander watched this scene with an expression no one could read. After a moment, she spoke. Prince, do you truly wish to stay with these humans? Looked at her with fierce eyes. Yes, more than anything. You understand that you are the prince of the empire. You have duties, responsibilities. Does not care about being prince. Never wanted to be prince, just wants to be loved. One in Hana love, that is all needs. The commander nodded slowly. I see. She turned and walked to a communication panel on the wall. She pressed several buttons. A screen came to life, showing the symbol of the empire. What are you doing? One asked. Something I should have done long ago, the commander said. I am sending a message to the queen. Gasped Mother. Your mother has been searching for you since you disappeared. She has been begging the emperor to let her join the search, but he refused. He wanted to handle this quietly. He did not want anyone to know how badly he had failed. The commander's voice was bitter. But the queen deserves to know what has happened. She deserves to know that her son is alive and safe and loved. The emperor will be angry, whispered. Yes, he will be very angry. The commander looked at with something almost like warmth. But some things are more important than following orders. Some things are more important than fear. Your human friends have taught me that. She pressed the final button. The message was sent. What happens now? Hana asked. Now we wait. The queen will receive the message within hours. What she does with it, that is up to her. They waited in that small room together, one held in his lap. Hana sat beside them, her hand on his back. The commander stood by the door, her eyes distant. Hours passed. No one slept. No one spoke much. They just waited. Finally, the communication panel lit up with an incoming message. The commander pressed a button, and a voice filled the room. It was a female voice, musical and strong. "Commander, this is Queen. I have received your message." Sat up straight, "Mother." There was a pause. Then the voice spoke again, and this time it was shaking with emotion. "My son, is that you?" "Yes, Mother is here, is safe." "Oh, my child, my precious child, I was so worried, I thought I had lost you forever." The Queen's voice broke. I am coming to you right now. No one will stop me, do you hear me? No one." "What about Father?" "Your father will answer for what he has done. I have been silent too long. I have let fear control me, but no more." The Queen's voice grew hard. "You are my son, my only child, and I will burn the galaxy down before I let anyone hurt you again." The message ended, looked at one with wonder in his eyes. "Mother is coming," he whispered. "She is really coming." One smiled. For the first time since was taken, he felt hope. "Then let's make sure we're ready to meet her," he said. Outside the ship, the sun was rising over Earth. A new day was beginning, and somewhere in the stars, a queen was flying toward her son, ready to change everything. The Queen's ship arrived 3 days later. It was not like the other ships. Those were silver and sharp, made for war. The Queen's ship was white and gold, made for beauty. It hung in the sky like a second sun, and everyone on Earth stopped to look at it. One stood with Hana and near the landing site. Commander stood beside them. She had not left since sending the message. She said she wanted to see this through to the end. One thought maybe she was also afraid to face the Emperor alone. Was shaking, not from fear this time, but from excitement. He had not seen his mother in months. He had thought he might never see her again. "What if she is angry at," he asked for the 10th time, "for running away?" "She's your mother," Hana said gently. "She loves you, she won't be angry." "But caused so much trouble." "You didn't cause trouble," one said firmly. "You survived, there's a difference." The great white ship began to descend. Wind swirled around them as it landed. The ground shook. Then everything became quiet. A door opened on the side of the ship. Light poured out, bright and golden. A figure appeared in that light. Queen of the Empire stepped onto Earth. She was the most beautiful being one had ever seen. Her skin was the same pale blue as, but it seemed to glow from within. Her hair was silver like starlight, falling past her waist. She wore a dress of white and gold that moved like water. On her head was a crown of crystal that caught the sunlight and scattered rainbows. But her eyes were what one noticed most. They were golden likes, but there was something in them that's father clearly did not have. Warmth. The Queen walked toward them. Soldiers followed her, but she waved them back. She did not need protection. She was not afraid. Broke away from one and ran to her. "Mother." The Queen fell to her knees and caught her son in her arms. She held him so tight it looked like she would never let go. Tears ran down her beautiful blue face. "My son," she whispered, "my precious, precious son, I thought I had lost you, I thought." Her voice broke. She could not speak anymore. She just held him and cried. Was crying too. "Is sorry, Mother, is so sorry for running away." "No." The Queen pulled back and looked at her son's face. "No, my child, you have nothing to be sorry for. I am the one who should apologize. I should have protected you. I should have stood up to your father long ago. I was weak. I was afraid, and you paid the price." "Mother is not weak." "I was, but no more." She touched his face gently. "I have sent your father away. He is no longer emperor." His eyes went wide. "What?" "The council agreed with me. What he did to you, what he has done to our people for years, it cannot continue. He ruled through fear, and that is not the way, not the true way." She smiled, and it was like the sun coming out after a storm. I am queen now, only queen, and things will be different, I promise you that. Threw his arms around her neck again. He was laughing and crying at the same time. Mother, that is wonderful, that is so wonderful. The queen held him for another long moment. Then she stood and looked at the humans who had been waiting quietly. You are one, she said. It was not a question. One stepped forward. He was very aware of how small he was compared to her, how primitive his clothes looked next to her dress, how ordinary he was next to her beauty. Yes, Your Majesty. My son has told me much about you in his messages, in his words just now. The queen looked at him with those warm golden eyes. You saved him. You hid him, fed him, healed him. You loved him when his own father did not. Why? One had been asked this question many times now, by the soldiers, by Commander. Each time he gave the same answer. Because he needed help, and I was there. The queen was quiet. She studied his face as if looking for something hidden there. Whatever she found seemed to satisfy her. In the Empire, she said, we have many words for different types of strength. There is the strength of the body, the strength of the mind, the strength of the will. We value these things highly. We believe they make us superior. She stepped closer to one. Her presence was overwhelming, but not in a frightening way. It was like standing near a warm fire. But there is one kind of strength we have forgotten, one kind that we lost somewhere along the way as we built our great civilization. She looked at him with something like wonder. The strength of the heart, the strength to love without reason, to protect without reward, to give without expectation. This is a strength my people no longer have, but you have it in abundance. She turned to look at Hana, who stood pale and trembling beside one. Both of you took a strange child into your home. You gave him love and family and hope. You soldiers and risked death for someone who was not even your species. This is remarkable. This is beyond anything my empire has achieved. We just did what was right, Hana said softly. Anyone would have done the same. No, the queen's voice was firm. Not anyone. Most would have turned him over. Most would have been afraid. You chose to be brave. You chose to be kind. That choice is what makes you special. She reached into the folds of her dress and pulled out a small box. It was made of something that looked like silver but glowed with inner light. She opened it. Inside was a medal. It was shaped like two hands clasped together, one blue and one pink. In the center was a gem that sparkled with all the colors of the rainbow. This is the crest of kinship, the queen said. It is the highest honor the empire can give. In 10,000 years, we have given it only 7 times. It is given to those who have shown true kinship across the boundaries of species, of culture, of fear. She took the medal from the box. Kneel, one of earth. One's legs felt weak. He knelt on the grass, his heart pounding. He had expected many things today, punishment, questions, maybe even death. He had not expected this. The queen placed the crest of kinship around his neck. The medal hung over his heart. It was warm, not cold like metal usually was. Rise, the queen said. One stood. He looked down at the medal, then up at the queen. He did not know what to say. You have shown my son that hearts matter more than power, the queen said. You have shown me the same. From this day forward, you and your family are considered kin to the throne. You will have the protection of the empire. You will be welcomed on any world. You will never be alone again. She turned to Hana. You as well, Hana of earth. The crest of kinship extends to all who stood by my son. Hana burst into tears. Not sad tears, but overwhelmed, happy tears. She covered her face with her hands and sobbed. Ran to one and hugged him. You see, told you mother would understand, told you that you were special. One hugged him back. He was crying too now, though he tried to hide it. I'm not special, I just did what any decent person would do. That is what makes you special, the queen said with a smile. You do not even know how rare your decency is. The gathered crowd of humans began to cheer. Word had spread of what was happening. People had come from all over Seoul to watch. Now they cheered for one and Hana, for the queen, for the little blue prince who had found a family on Earth. Commander stepped forward and knelt before the queen. "Your Majesty, I disobeyed the Emperor's orders. I helped these humans see the prince. I am prepared to accept punishment." The queen looked at her with kind eyes. "Rise, Commander. You showed more courage than anyone in my court. You listened to your heart instead of your fear. That is not a crime. That is a virtue," she smiled. "You will be promoted to Admiral. I need people around me who are not afraid to do what is right." His eyes went wide. "Admiral, Your Majesty, I do not know what to say." "Say you will serve with honor. Say you will help me build a better empire." "I will, with all my heart I will." The queen nodded. Then she turned to address the crowd of humans who had gathered. "People of Earth," she said, and her voice carried far. "For many years my empire has looked down on your species. We called you primitive. We called you weak. We believed we were superior in every way." She paused. The crowd was silent, waiting. "We were wrong." A murmur went through the crowd. "You have something we lost long ago. You have warmth. You have compassion. You have the ability to love without boundaries, to give without counting the cost. One human man and one human woman showed more courage and kindness than entire worlds of. They saved my son, not with weapons or technology, but with love. That is a power we do not understand, but we want to learn." She raised her hand. "From this day forward, the Empire will seek friendship with Earth, not as masters and servants, but as equals, as family. My son found family here, and so shall my people." The crowd erupted in cheers. People were crying, laughing, hugging each other. It was a moment that would be remembered in history books for centuries. Looked up at one with shining eyes. "Family," he said. "Family," one agreed. The queen came to stand beside them. She put one arm around and looked at one with warmth. "You are welcome to stay on Earth or come to my world," she said. "May choose where he wishes to live. I will not force him to do anything ever again." Once, the little prince thought hard, wants to live on Earth with one in Hana, but also wants to see mother, can do both. "You can do whatever you wish, my son. I will visit often, and you may come to me whenever you like. You are a prince of the Empire. The stars are your playground." Smiled the biggest smile one had ever seen. "Then we'll stay on Earth. Home is here now, with family." That night there was a great celebration. The queen stayed for it, mingling with humans like she had been doing it all her life. She ate human food and drank human drinks and laughed at human jokes. She was nothing like what people had expected a queen to be. One sat on the edge of the party, watching. Hana sat beside him and was in his lap, half asleep. "This is crazy," Hana said. "A month ago we were just two ordinary people. Now we're kin to the throne. We changed the relationship between two species. How did this happen?" One looked down at, whose silver hair was messy from playing, whose blue cheeks were flushed from happiness. "We just helped a scared kid," he said. "Everything else came from that." "You make it sound so simple." "Maybe it is simple. Maybe that's what people don't understand. The big things start with small acts of kindness. You help one child and it changes everything." Stirred in his lap, one. "Yes. Thank you for bringing home." One kissed the top of his silver head. "Thank you for being worth bringing home." The queen approached them as the party began to wind down. She looked at her son, asleep in one's arms, and her face softened with love. "He is happy," she said quietly, "truly happy. I have not seen him like this in years, perhaps ever. He's a good kid. He just needed someone to see that. You saw it when no one else would." The queen bowed her head to one, a queen bowing to a human mechanic. "I will never be able to thank you enough. You gave me back my son. You gave me hope for my people. You gave the galaxy a chance at peace." "I just did what was right," one said. The queen smiled. And that, one of Earth, is why humanity's heart is the greatest strength in the universe. Never forget that. Never let anyone make you forget. She kissed the sleeping forehead, then walked away to prepare for her departure. Hana leaned against one's shoulder. So, what now? One thought about it. He thought about the stars waiting out there, about the new worlds he could visit, about the future that had opened up because of one small act of kindness. Now, he said, we go home, we put to bed. Tomorrow we make breakfast and we teach him more human words and we watch terrible shows and eat too much sweet food. He smiled. We live, we love, we be a family. That sounds perfect. It does, doesn't it? Mumbled something in his sleep. It sounded like family. One held him closer. Above them, the stars shone bright. Somewhere out there was the Empire, beginning a new chapter. Somewhere out there were adventures waiting to happen. But right here, on this small blue planet, there was a home. There was love. There was a little alien boy who had found his family against all odds. And that, in the end, was the greatest award of all.